Stoyer. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay. My name is Nancy Quirk. I reside at 2066 Wintercrest Drive in Green Bay. I'm a registered professional engineer by trade with 39 years of experience. I am now the general manager of Green Bay Water Utility, and a position I'm proud to have held for the last 8 years. You may have seen on TV on Tuesday that the city of Green Bay was able to take its last lead pipe out of the ground under a system I implemented in my time here. Our amazing team of water professionals and experts worked together to remove more than 1,800 lead pipes out of the ground, and we got rid of it on the homeowner side too, even changing laws so that the homeowners who largely could not afford to replace their own lead services did not have to pay out of the pocket to get the job done. The head of the EPA's Office of Water was here in person to congratulate us this week. At one point, a CNN news crew flew here from New York just to find out what we were doing and to share it with other people. I feel I have to tell you this because it's just one example of the extreme care and the lengths I will go to when it comes to the health and well-being of our Green Bay community, especially our children. If I thought there was a chance that the amount of fluoride we put into water was harmful to health, I would fight against it too. But I don't make decisions based on YouTube videos, social media statuses, self-published authors, non-peer-reviewed studies, or chiropractors posing as medical doctors peddling bunk science. Brenda Stodmeyer, a part-time Green Bay resident who works in Madison, is again the reason that it's being brought to Green Bay a third time during my tenure. You'll remember that this issue was brought by Brenda before our elected officials in the city back in 2013 and 17, as Alderman Stoyer stated. Since then, the science has not changed. The Centers for Disease Control have not altered their support for community water fluoridation. The EPA has not changed its numbers. In fact, all that is being touted this evening by Ms. Stodmeyer is a poorly performed study that reaches sweeping conclusions, most likely in error, because experts at the world's most important health organizations have deemed them weak. Weak studies do not effectively collect and analyze data in a way that represents the whole story. She criticizes us all here for not reading every new study that supports her anti-fluoride rhetoric. And that's just not how we legislate. If you use the internet, you're probably aware that there's a new study on something every single day. Water utility managers like me have to take into account that our industry leaders and governing bodies are saying because it is their duty to constantly review the science. We need guidance backed by evidence-based science. Organizations like the CDC, Wisconsin Department of Health Services, Brown County Health, and others check the sciences for themselves constantly. They're required to tell us when something doesn't check out. The anti-fluoridation folks on this call tonight are largely the same group of people telling us not to vaccinate. There's so-called health organization on here this evening. They say that they are anti-mask, anti-vaccine, and of course, anti-fluoride. Drinking water utilities are regulated by EPA's safe drinking water standards. Fluoride is an element that is regulated. They designate a level at which health effects could occur and a maximum contaminant level, or MCL, that we follow. They also designate secondary standards at which health effects may occur discoloring of the teeth. For fluoride, that level is 4 milligrams per liter. We provide water at 0.7 milligrams per liter, or 1/6 of the level. That could cause health effects. Every 5 years, EPA distributes a list of 30 contaminants they require utilities to test for. Fluoride was introduced on our last review in 2016, and EPA determined that there was no scientific new data warranting that fluoride be added to the list. It was tossed out. Think about this. If the anti-fluoride crusade starts citing their so-called scientific reports of health effects associated with fluoride tonight, watch to see if they mention the level of fluoride that the tests were using. I have read some of their reports where fluoride levels were clearly above 4 milligrams per liter, especially from so-called experts that aren't necessarily familiar with the United States regulations and best practices. I would also ask that you consider their credentials. I believe listening to a Green Bay mom is always important. I am a Green Bay mom. 2, But even Green Bay moms can be misled by junk science and scary videos not depicting the whole truth. The majority of major scientific organizations agree that fluoride is safe. We need to make decisions for health on evidence-based science. A point I want to make sure you know, Green Bay Water Utility has public health and safety on the top of our list of our core values. We are a proactive utility to achieve the safest water. We belong and are active in professional water organizations such as American Water Works Association, American Metropolitan Water Agencies, Water Research Foundation, Wisconsin Rural Water Association, Municipal Environmental Group Water, Public Service Commission work groups, and DNR work groups. I also belong to state group where are PFAS regulations in this state, even though PFAS is not a contaminant for Green Bay water. The senior management team at Green Bay Water is well connected and positioned to receive the latest information on drinking water issues. We are part of education events all year to ensure we are getting the latest research information. I'm involved in the national level of AMWA committees and AWWA committees. Our operations manager is a trustee on the board of the Wisconsin section of American Water Works Association. We also have utility staff participating in the Wisconsin section committees. We read water journal, AWWA journals every month. We receive weekly updates from the regulatory offices in DC of any changing regulations or new studies. We attend webinars, and we also work with local groups to get information daily or weekly as we need. What I'm saying is we do not bury our heads in the sand. We are experts in our industry, well connected to the best and brightest of the drinking water industry to make sure we have the latest technical information. The vision we laid out for ourselves in Green Bay Water Utility Strategic Plan several years ago was to be a leader in the drinking water industry. According to the EPA's water chief speaking at the City of Green Bay Tuesday, we have fulfilled that vision. And not only because we are the first major utility in the state to voluntarily remove all of our lead services, we also influence water utilities all across Wisconsin to follow our leadership in the use of satellite leak detection to find water leaks in our system. Our operations manager is a national presenter on this important research. Green Bay Water Utility proactively uses the high velocity flushing of our water mains and service lines, something we do in order to remove any film or particles that may come loose. This is also something other utilities lean on us for understanding when they begin their own flushing programs. We have influenced countless utilities in this way. And water experts come here to Green Bay to learn about what we're doing. The utility master plan for infrastructure, workforce strategy documents, salary studies, emergency response plans, business continuity plans, and strategic planning are all proof that we not only think about the future, we're prepared to face it. As our elected alders, you make the best informed decisions that we, the public, have entrusted you to do. Just as you depend on city departments to advise you on the best available science-based evidence for protecting their children from assault from intruders in schools, infrastructure that will replace aging infrastructure, building requirements to ensure safe and long-lasting buildings, bridges that will last 40 plus years, and placement of traffic lights and crosswalks to protect the public from being run over or killed at dangerous places in Green Bay. You should depend on those same experts to provide you with the best available evidence on water fluoridation. I trust you to make good decisions based on expertise provided to you. Now I'm going to ask you to trust me. You hired me to perform this job, and I take my responsibility to public health via safe drinking water very seriously. I don't believe you need to understand every medical report that was sent to you. You are policymakers. I am a civil engineer. I do not pretend to know the details about medicine or dentistry. However, I do understand the importance of the liaison to public health, and I have developed relationships with widely respected medical and health organizations over my 33 years in the drinking water industry in Wisconsin. Organizations like the CDC, Wisconsin Department of Health Services, American Medical Association, American Dental Association, Brown County Health, and others. I understand that science is always changing. That's why we're committed to staying current in our profession. I assure you that if a study came forward and was validated by a respected set of health organizations that indicated scientifically that we were putting poison in our water, I would immediately stop putting it in. And then I would inform the officials and we would make it final. Please trust me. You hired me to run this water utility, and I take my responsibility of providing safe drinking water very seriously. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Director Quirk.